Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Prayers.
Almighty God, we need you to protect bonus as appointed office of leaders and parliaments for the welfare strategy just government humanity. We seek you to look upon with the abundant favor of your servants. We've been pleased to the performance of such part trust in this land. Let your blessings descend upon me assembled and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider matter that shall come out of their deliberation, the soldiers and family manners promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to your church.
Amen. Item number 2, communication from the chair.
Colleagues, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to today's sitting. It's a very, very short one. It's the first sitting we are having since the demise of our senior leader, the late Right Honorable Jacob Olanya, for us to be here in the chambers. It's true we had a sitting at Kororo, but you know the late Jacob loved these chambers. Whenever he was here, you always felt him. Though we already paid tribute in terms of minute of silence at Kororo for our first sitting since his demise in this chamber, we stand up and we pay tribute.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
So, colleagues, you'll have to forgive me today. The session is very, very short. Normally, because of what we are going through, we wouldn't have had any session, but we have statutory deadlines which we must meet. So today and on Thursday, we are forced to have sessions in order to meet the statutory deadlines. It will be a very, very short session. I hope whoever is on order paper is ready. I won't have matters of national importance today. Most of you have called me, have checked with the speaker also, but I request we wait when the situation normalizes. But what we will do in the meantime, if you have issues which are very, very urgent, and they require urgent attention of the ministers or the state, and maybe you're not able to reach out to the minister, kindly reach out to me and the speaker. We shall intervene in those matters to ensure that we arrange a meeting with the minister responsible, with the officers responsible. We relay the matters to the prime minister and they are handled. Those are matters which require urgent attention. Like Honorable Enos from Kabura today reached out to me in regard to his school, and we are already following up on that matter. But also, as you know, Section 15 of the Public Finance Management Act requires that we should have already received the ministerial policy statement. We have ministers who didn't submit their ministerial policy statements, so we are giving them another chance today. But honorable ministers, you will be required to explain to the House on the floor for purposes of it being captured on the Hansard as to why you are not able to submit the statement on time. I think it's a very good culture for accountability purposes for the whole House to know. It shouldn't be a matter of just for the presiding officer. So that's very, very important. We shall also be receiving alternative statements as per Rule 147 of our rules of procedure. It's very important. Under that rule, it's voluntary for the leader of opposition and team to do that. But I'm glad the leader of opposition has done a tremendous job and they'll be ready to submit. So at the right time, we shall ensure that's done. On Thursday, I'm seeing what we shall be looking at, like I told you colleagues, that we shall have a sitting because in Section 13 of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 148 of our rules of procedure, they require that we receive all the budget, the final budget estimates or proposals from the Minister of Finance. So we don't have time to wait. We would have done it on Friday, but on Friday, the body of our colleague will be coming, will be returning back to the country. So we shall have to do it on Thursday. So, Honorable Minister of Finance, I hope we shall be ready as per Section 13 and Rule 148 of our rules of procedure to ensure that indeed we do receive the final budget estimates and the revenue and tax bills, if you have any. I hope you'll be ready. Then also, Honorable Minister, on that day, I expect you, because you know, as per Section 5 of the Public Finance Management Act, you should have published the Charter for Fiscal Responsibility. We've labored to check. You published it on your website, but you never gazetted it. So you had only 1 month after approval by Parliament to have it gazetted. You have not yet done that. So I request that you do that. And then on Thursday, you table it on the floor. Okay? And after tabling it, I also expect you to table to help the committees when they are processing the municipal policy statement. We shall have a very good flow for all members of parliament when they are doing their work. So I expect you to do that on Thursday. I'm sure the speaker must have already communicated to you. So without wasting any further time, I just want to ask you, colleagues, that you allow me and my sister to congratulate you for elevating us to these positions. It's really humbling. We shall try to fit the bill. We are ready. We are ready. And we are going to move as a house. And our principle is what the late Jacob Olanya told us to do, is that it shall be we, not I. The moment the presiding officer fails, the law has failed, the lead of government business has failed, and the whole house has failed. We shall all be judged together. So let's work towards ensuring that we succeed as a team. And then someone would say, the 11th parliament, oh, was super good. Okay? So that you move around proud of what you've achieved as a team. With that, we can have the next item.
Item number 3, laying of papers, ministerial policy statements and budget estimates for financial year 2022-2023. Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities.
Yes, Honourable Minister, it will be a brief explanation as to why you failed to lay on time.
Thank you so much.
My brother Silas, really I wanted this take shot, okay? And okay.
Right, Honorable Speaker. First of all, it's very important that I congratulate you. And I wanted to be the first person to congratulate. But from nowhere, you have left me and you have gone to the other side. Over to number 5. The procedural matter, that makes me to rise up. Right, Honorable Speaker, I believe in our rules of procedure. There is a demand that if you are going beyond the deadline to submit on what was submitting this afternoon, you ought to seek for authority from the Speaker. For purposes of making sure that we don't flout any rule, would it be procedurally proper that the government lays evidence of seeking for authority from the Speaker on table, just for purpose of procedure? All of us understand the problems we have, the challenges we have. We know the current situation. I'm just seeking for your guidance, sir.
Thank you. Colleagues, please. Colleagues, thank you, Honorable Silas. Honorable Silas, the order paper belongs to the Speaker. By the time I put you on the order paper, I've already allowed you to do what you're doing. But for accountability purposes, that's why I wanted the explanation to be in the open, so that all members buy in and other ministers learn from it, so that we don't have such an incident next time. Minister of Tourism.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Cyrus stole my opportunity. I thought I'd be the first to congratulate you, but all the same, I think I'm going to be the first minister to congratulate you upon your victory or elevation. And of course, still on behalf of the tourism sector, we congratulate you. We know how supportive you've been of the sector, and hope you'll continue helping us that we achieve or better the sector. Right Honorable Speaker, in line with Section 1313 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2015, I hereby submit a ministerial policy statement for financial year 2022-2023 for the Ministry of Tourism. Votes 022, vote 117. Right Honorable Speaker, we were not in position to lay this document on table by the 15th, And this was a result of the delays in the online budget system, which in some cases did not reflect inputs in the output reports. This required making several trials to obtain the desired results. However, Honorable Speaker, I don't think that there is any sufficient explanation really that would make us probably, convince this House or convince you for any reason as to why we did not submit on the 15th. But like I'm saying, all of us are in a learning process, and we hope to get better as we go forward. But thank you for accepting to receive this statement, despite the delay. Thank you.
But you haven't laid. Please lay.
Right Honorable Speaker, I therefore beg to lay the statement of the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, vote 022, vote 117, 2022-2023. Thank you.
Colleagues,
I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. Like you said, we are all learning. The statement is referred to the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry. Next.
Number 2, Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives.
Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. First and foremost, Right Honorable Speaker and members of Parliament, I beg to lay the ministerial policy statement for the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives for 2022/2023. Before I do that, Honorable Speaker, I have a duty, for a reason of not laying the policy statement on the 15th of March of 2022. Honorable members, the Ministry of Trade and Industry and Cooperatives Ministerial Policy Statement of 2022-23 was not laid on the 15th March of 2022, because by the time it was delivered to Parliament, the House had adjourned for that day. Parliament, however, effort was made to deliver the copy to the Office of the Clerk to Parliament on the very day. Awaiting for this opportunity to have it formally laid before the House. I thank you for that. The votes are for 015, 136, 154, and 500. I beg to lay. Thank you. I also want to congratulate you, Honorable Speaker, on your being the Speaker of this August House. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Yes. Colleagues, these are challenges we all go through. Colleagues, these are challenges we all go through. So thank you, Honorable Minister. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry.
Number 3, Office of the Auditor General.
Colleagues, the Auditor General is under the Parliamentary Commission. So it's an office of Parliament, so we must explain why we delayed ourselves.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to wholeheartedly congratulate you upon becoming the Deputy Speaker of this great Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to apologize on behalf of the Office of the Auditor General, because the day the report came, the House had already been adjourned, and this should not be the practice. And next time, at least the report of the Office of the Auditor General will be early. It was very unfortunate, and we regret, Right Honorable Speaker. I therefore beg to lay the report, the ministerial policy statement for the Office of the Auditor General, Vote 131 for financial year 2022-2023. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on table.
Thank you, Commissioner. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Legal Rules and Privileges. Next.
Number 4, Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, to extend our warm congratulations to you and Madam Speaker for making it to the very high office of this Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to begin by sincerely apologizing on my behalf and on behalf of Minister of Foreign Affairs for the late delivery of the ministerial policy statement, which ought to have been delivered here by 15th of March. Circumstances leading to that arose out of the late travel from Chankwanzi, where we were holding a retreat of all the ambassadors and high commissioners designate. And you all recall, Honorable Speaker, that we had also trouble in getting and compiling data from our European missions, especially those around Ukraine. We sincerely want to apologize. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I wish to lay the ministerial policy statement for vote 006, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and votes 501 to 536, Uganda's missions abroad for the financial year 2022-2023, and the attendant estimates of revenue and expenditure for 2022-2023. I beg to lay, Mr. Speaker.
Statement referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. I wanted to make a correction. The statement from the Auditor General is referred to the Committee on Finance, Planning, and Economic Development, not Legal Affairs. Thank you. Next.
Number 5, Ministry of East African Community Affairs.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have the misfortune of being here as on my first day, as a maiden day, on this particular day. This is a result of circumstances which we call in French force majeure. It kept me off from having participated all along, and therefore I was even unable to have conveyed my gratitude to you, that's the office, and to the General House, the Honorable House, for allowing me to be a member of this House. Because since I was allowed, I've never been here. and it's quite a privilege to be a member of the House because I'm had to come in through ex officio measures. Allow me, therefore, to express my congratulations to you. I join the others who have the speakers who have been here before me for congratulating for this very great achievement that you have made. And I hope that your being there will give us, some of us who are new, the necessary stewardship to enable us to participate even further on what we are doing. Right Honorable Speaker, we recognize that we should have had laid our ministerial policy statement on 15th March 2022 as per the stipulated time frame for submission. Unfortunately, we are not able to do so because of some technological inadvertence. I call it inadvertence because we could not, I'm told we must go through certain rigmarole to get things going. But once technical things fail, you are therefore late by 1 minute or two to have done that thing that time. We wish to regret that this unforeseeable delay and promise to do much better next time. We want to be good students so that we do not have to do that again. Right Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Section 13 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, I hereby present to you the ministerial policy statement and expenditure proposals for the vote 21 Ministry of East African Community Affairs for financial year 2022/23 for consideration and approval. I beg to lay. I hope I'm being a good student.
Honorable Minister, we are glad to see you in a much better health situation. Our Mzee Magoda Ikuya, Minister of State for East African Affairs. So we are glad to see that you're doing much better health-wise. The statement is referred to the Committee on East African Affairs.
Madam Speaker, I rise on the procedural point. I am happy being the Shadow Minister for East Africa Community Affairs and seeing my minister for the first time. If it is procedural okay, Madam Speaker, you may allow him to introduce himself and maybe remove the mask so that I know him personally, Madam Speaker. And also, unfortunately, Madam Speaker, I've never seen all my ministers in the House since this House started. I beg to request you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Gilbert, I thought you were going to say you're inviting him for a cup of coffee since you've seen him the first time. So you can do the introductions outside. Let's continue with the business. Next.
Number 6, Judiciary.
Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to congratulate you and assure you of my support and tell you that I'm glad to see you in that chair. On behalf of the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, I beg to lay the ministerial policy statement for vote 101 for the year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Honorable Minister, we need an explanation as to why you didn't meet the statuted deadline, like how other ministers have been doing.
Right Honorable Speaker, at the appropriate time when we were expected to lay, the other votes from Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs were laid, but this particular one still had a few nitty-gritty to be attended to. Be that as it may, we have brought it. We apologize for coming late, but here we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think it's very, very important and next time to meet the deadline because you're the custodians of the law as the judiciary. So setting a very good precedent is very important. The statement is referred to the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Honorable Sarah, if you could just give me a minute, I have more statements, which I know there are some agencies whose statements are not yet here, so I'll give you a chance after, okay? You boss, you have not yet laid, and the equal opportunities, if they are ready, please let's give them a chance.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I join my colleagues and on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to congratulate you upon your elevation to that high post of Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. Congratulations. In the same vein, allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, to lay on table the budget policy statement for vote 143, Uganda Bureau of Statistics for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to delay. And the reason for the delay was actually a technical hiccup, printing the statement of the system, the broader system, the PBS. But they were ready on that same day, and by the time they delivered it here, the House had been adjourned. But we want to most sincerely apologize for that failure on our part.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The statement is referred to the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic. Next.
Equal Opportunities Commission.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join members who have congratulated you on behalf of the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, to congratulate you and thank God for putting you on that. Congratulations. I will give an apology. Equal Opportunities Commission is under the Minister of Gender. On the day we laid the minister's statements, they were a bit late. You know, they stay somewhere a bit far from us. And the time they arrived here, Right Honorable Speaker, we all know what happened. The House was already adjourned. And of course, jam was there, but they arrived by 4:30 and it was already late. But the report was already given to the clerk to confirm that it was brought on that very day. But next time, I think they will do better. So, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me lay a ministerial statement for financial year 2022-2023, vote 124, Equal Opportunities Commission. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The statement is referred to the Committee on Gender. Colleagues, as you've seen, the opposition is not able to process quickly alternative statements for these ones which have just been presented here. So I guide Lop, leader of opposition, that you study these statements and then your shadow ministers, when the statements are being processed in the committees, they can give their substantive positions. They can, alternatives, substantive, and be submitted directly to the committees without coming back onto the floor. Honorable Sarah, you had an issue?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm on a procedural issue. Allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of my people in Tororo, to congratulate you, and on behalf of all the women in this house and the men. WOPA has both women and the men, and want to appreciate. And Right Honorable Speaker, we shall be visiting you soon. But we meaning the male members of Parliament and the female. But Right Honorable Speaker, the ministerial policy statements for the next financial year have been laid. However, Right Honorable Speaker, you recall that supplementary appropriation bill, I think number 4, was laid before this House. This House did approve the supplementary expenditures. However, to date, Right Honorable Speaker, the local governments, the new administrative units, the sub-counties have not received any funding. It's 9 months now down the road. The chairman LC3 in my district, and I believe in all the other districts where these new sub-counties were created, have not received any money to date, either to run these administrative units or even as their own salaries. So, Right Honorable Speaker, is it procedurally right for us to receive these policy statements without knowing why funding has not been extended to these local governments, and yet we're about to conclude this financial year? And the Minister of Finance is here. Maybe, Right Honorable Speaker, would it not be procedurally right for him to explain why money has not been sent to these local governments, and yet Parliament did appropriate and pass the supplementary? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Colleagues, you remember on 15th of March when we had a sitting here, the Minister of Finance laid on table a request to borrow domestically money in order to fulfill the requirements or to fund the budget, the supplementary budget which was tabled here. And shortly after tabling that, we got into this crisis. The committee has not been meeting. So, and when you read the report, one of the sources of financing the supplementary was domestic borrowing. And we have not yet approved that aspect. So I want to use that opportunity, this opportunity, to call upon the Committee on National Economy. We already talked yesterday, I talked to the speaker, me and the speaker and the clerk. We agreed that the Committee on National Economy should meet urgently to process that request, so that you have the report ready when we resume normal sessions after the morning period. We immediately do approve or reject that request as tabled by finance. So also the Committee on Natural Resources, we are required to meet urgently and finalize on the electricity bills. We need it urgently. We need the report to be ready so that once we resume normal sessions of the House, we also process that report very quickly. So those two committees, do your work quietly. You don't need to move around that much. Do quietly, but process it. But in the meantime, like Honorable Sarah said, this was one of the most urgent issues because you've already started the parish development model. You've already launched it. Some districts have already received the money. Minister of Finance, what are you doing about that? The members want to know, is there anything you're doing with the new administrative units, or we are going to wait until we approve the domestic borrowing?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you upon assuming that chair. And I want to express my gratitude and happiness to see you in that chair. Congratulations. Mr. Speaker, it is true we laid the supplementary request, the loan request to finance the supplementary budget, which was earlier passed by this parliament. And shortly after we laid the request, the circumstances we are in happened. However, Mr. Speaker, I would like to report to the House that I am in touch with the chairperson of the Committee of National Economy and also your office, and we have worked out a mechanism under which we shall quickly process the report and we shall be able to come back here and process the report before the House. Mr. Speaker, included in the supplementary which we passed was operationalization, funding for operationalization of the new administrative units. And Mr. Speaker, we are constrained, considering that we have no resource until when this request passes. We are constrained to send monies to the respective local governments for the operationalization. Therefore, I would like to implore colleagues and all other stakeholders out there to be patient with us. I'm sure in the shortest time possible, as soon as we pass the request, we will be able to send money to the respective local governments. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Colleagues, next item. Clarification should be from the person on the floor, and he's already off the floor. He's already off the floor, so can't have a clarification. Next item.
Laying of papers, alternative ministerial policy statements.
Let me allow the Shadow Finance Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I congratulate you most warmly. Chair, I'm a Shadow Minister for Finance, and I've been looking through some of the policy statements. It's so disheartening that a government agency comes here, lays a ministerial policy statement whose details were for the last financial year. The Ministry of Health read the document here. Apart from 1 or 2 pages of opening pages, the details in that policy statement are for the last financial year, this financial year. So how do we go around looking at projections of that quality of work? It's inconceivable. How do you respond? And what do we do with a ministry of all ministries of health? To the extent that they even report a performance in that policy statement. So we have looked at the detail of a Ministry of Health, for example, and you realize it is that terrible. So how does our ministers respond to a policy statement for next year of this year?
But please. Let's follow rules. Information too. He's already off the floor. Information is to the member who is on the floor. You can't give information anyhow. Okay? Let's be organized. Colleagues, Honorable Chivumbi, I get your concern, but it seems you've already done the work of the committee. Because that's what I expect the committee to report. To say you brought a statement, we processed it, we found gap A, B, C, D, and all that. But now, if what you've done, the report you've given is the report I expect from the committee. And there is no way we can have such a report on this floor. There's no way we know, because now it will be your word against someone else's. So please, let's be orderly, please. So I get your concern, Honorable. The ministers are here. The leader of government business has taken note. They can go and revise, but let that work be for the committee, not on the floor, where we are not sure whether the statement is like that or not. Next item. From who? From me? From the speaker? Please read the rules, Honorable. We have rules which are clear. Clarification from who? Next item.
Laying of papers, alternative policy statements for financial year 2022-2023.
Leader of opposition, you will guide us, you take us through with your shadow cabinet, because I didn't receive a list of who has what statement. So I give you the opportunity to take us through.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It's my singular honor to congratulate you. I know that transfiguration is divine. But you know, as humans, in a way, we can be transfigured, just the way you moved away from where we were sparring to now, being the referee. I would like to wish you the best in your new role and pledge our support as the opposition, ensuring that this house is indeed the house of the people, and we process business on behalf of our people. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on certainly, like you observed, whereas the rules say may, the coaching of the Administration of Parliament Act, particularly Section 6E4, is shall. So it does not leave room for us to presuppose to do or not to do. So we are to comply with the rules and the law that gives birth to the rules, right, Honorable Speaker, to lay our alternative policy statements. Also, for the attention of the House, right, Honorable Speaker, we take note of the fact that we worked without a final budget framework paper and without a final printed charter of fiscal responsibility. I hope you indulge the Ministry of Finance in the future not to lead the House into speculation, that we work with the final figures in the future. Also, right, Honorable Speaker, in absence of alternatives that have been laid today, we worked using the indicative figures and the BFP initially as proposed to come up with our policy alternatives. So we are ready to literally lay all the alternatives, Honorable Speaker. So may I invite my alternate chancellor of the Exchequer, lead the team, to lay the alternatives, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Leader of Opposition, we don't have that title in our laws and our rules, so we don't have an alternative chancellor of Exchequer. We have a shadow finance minister. So shadow finance minister.
Without a budget, are you sure I don't have? I have my personal one. Chair, as instructed by my boss, I take the opportunity to lay first an alternative ministerial policy statement for finance planning and economic development for financial year 2022-23. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Shadow Minister. This will refer to the Committee on Finance. And colleagues, please, these alternative statements will help you. Read them, I request you, read them, compare with the budget framework paper, with the Charter for Fiscal Responsibility, and then when we are discussing the budget and the reports, you will really feel you got announced from each and every aspect and put together a very good report. Leader of government business.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of government to congratulate you and the Speaker, Right Honorable Anita Among. Congratulations. I want also to say that you have become leaders to head an arm of government, the center of politics in this country, at an age where both of you and your inspirational figures to the majority Ugandans who are young. So, because of that, I want to say we have to work together to give the best examples to our children and the grandchildren. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to regret on behalf of government and on behalf of the Prime Minister that we are not able to submit the policy statements, some of the policy statements in time. And I have also taken note of what has been raised by on the Minister of Health. We shall follow it up. And if it is so, we shall have a discussion with all the stakeholders that are in charge of that ministry and the Speaker and the appointing authority, because that would mean we'll have grave implications on our work as ministers, but also as leaders at this time. I want once again to congratulate you, and on behalf of the Prime Minister, we pledge to work with you to make Uganda better, especially during your time. Please, let's extend the horizons as we serve all, leaving nobody behind and making sure we reach the farthest in this country. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Mumba. A time will come when I'll come here on the floor and I give you my do's and don'ts. I didn't want to go into that, how I'll be running the house whenever I'm given an opportunity. That time is going to come. And because I would want it orderly, we follow the rules, but most importantly, we listen to each other. I've seen on several occasions, the member stands up, before he even utters 2 words, you hear information, clarification. You're not given a chance to shine, even when you've done so. It discourages many members from going and doing research, and because if you have only 2 minutes, you need to use it, productively. So I'll be coming back to give you my own guideline on how I'll be running the house within the confines of the rules and laws of Uganda. So let's continue. Lope, I don't know who is next.
Justice and Constitutional Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to join my honorable members in congratulating you upon attaining that office. I rise under Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament. I, being the Shadow Minister for Human Rights, I beg to lay the alternative Ministry of Policy.
Shadow Minister for Human Rights?
Yes, because it is
how
in
you
one
captured
docket.
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I beg to lay the alternative Ministry of Policy statement for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, financial year 2022-2023.
Thank you, Honorable. Our statement referred to the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs.
Number 3, Gender, Labor and Social Development.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Statement referred to the Committee on Gender.
Number 4, Public Service.
Morris.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Right Honorable, my name is Henry Morris Chibali. Right Honorable, my name is Henry Morris Chibali. I represent Bugabula South constituency, which is in the community district where the woman member of parliament is the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. Right Honorable, the point of procedure that I wish to raise concerns the colleagues. I'm just near 10 MPs here, but the last 3 colleagues who have laid papers there are new to their faces. Would it be procedure right Honorable, that whoever comes on the microphone, courtesy, just to introduce his name or her name, so that as colleagues, those who have come for the first time and those who have been there can kindly know them. So just
Honorable, that's optional, but if you're very attentive, every member who stands up here, on the screens, your names are shown. So kindly, if you're not sure of the member, please always check on the screens. You will see the name. Let's go on.
Congratulations, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Public Service for the financial year 2022-23. I beg to lay, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chiaga. The statement is referred to the Committee on Public Service and Local Government.
Number 5, the presidency.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Nyeko Derek, Shadow Minister for Presidency and Member of Parliament for Makindye East. Right Honorable Speaker, before I lay the alternative policy statement, I must mention that the Minister did not lay the policy statement. Right Honorable Speaker, this docket has very key important votes that include the office of the presidency.
Honorable, let's make that clarification. I was standing here. The Honorable Mireba Balanda laid the statement here on 15th of March. So if you are not in the house, then it's you to blame. But the statement is available, so clerk, please avail the minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, however, I made my appeal in the policy budget framework. So I beg to lay the alternative policy for the shadow ministry for the presidency 2020-2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nyeko. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Presidential Affairs. Next.
Number 6, the Kampala Capital City Authority.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me also join other members to congratulate you. For record purposes, I'm Kawalia Abubeka, area member of parliament for Rubaga North, the shadow minister for Kampala. I therefore lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for Kampala Capital City Authority, financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
The statement stands referred to the Committee on Presidential Affairs. There is a clarification I want to make, members. Shadow ministers don't make ministerial policy statements. They make alternative policy statements. So when you're reading, for purposes of the answered, please, what you're laying on table is an alternative policy statement, not an alternative ministerial policy statement.
Number 7, agriculture, animal industry and fisheries.
Right Honorable Speaker, Dr. Bed Bonica, Shadow Minister, Agriculture. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement. The Minister of Agriculture, the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. Statement stands referred to the Committee on Agriculture.
Education and sports.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Brenda Nakenya, the Shadow Minister for Education. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for education and sports for the financial year 2022. I beg to lay.
Thank you. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Education.
Number 9, defense and veteran affairs.
Right Honorable Speaker, receive my congratulations. On behalf of our Shadow Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, allow me lay the alternative policy statement for the sector of defense and veteran affairs for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Nambeshe. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Defense.
Number 10, internal affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I take this opportunity to join my colleagues to congratulate you upon ascending to that office. Right Honorable Speaker, in accordance with Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure, I, being the Shadow Minister of Internal Affairs, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Internal Affairs for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Defense.
Number 11, health.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me join the honorable gentlemen and the honorable ladies who congratulated you upon getting that office. Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that you evoke your prerogative power to ask one of your clerks to go to the library and bring to you the ministerial policy statement of the Ministry of Health, such that you ascertain our claims. It's because while preparing the alternative policy statement, I had to interact with it, and sincerely speaking, it wasn't very helpful. And you're the speaker of both the party in government and us in opposition. So we need to protect this parliament under Rule 147. Under Rule 147. And as the Shadow Minister of Health, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement of the Ministry of Health.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Health. Honorable, I've taken note of your request, but unfortunately, we already referred that statement to the Committee on Health. The House now cannot come to constitute itself into a body that is going to scrutinize, because what you want us to do is scrutinize, okay? We cannot do it as a house. That's the work of the committee. So let's wait for the report of the committee, where you sit, ensure that indeed all those issues are brought out for better improvement next time. Next.
Works and Transports.
Right Honorable Speaker, I will also wish to join others who have congratulated you. I'm the happiest as your former lecturer and colleague in one of the big parties in the country. I have no doubt they're going to do a very good job. I would like to take this opportunity also as the Shadow Minister of Works and Transport to lay the alternative policy statement for the works and transport sector. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The Honorable Yusuf Nsibambi was my lecturer at law school, Makerere, where he taught me commercial law, and I was a very good student. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure. Next.
Foreign Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in your opening statements, you instructed the ministers, including the Minister of Finance, to explain circumstances under which they didn't file the policy statements. They didn't lay policy statements. Right Honorable Speaker, it is instructive within our laws, and it's good you mentioned you studied the law, that presentation of policy statements is a matter of law and the requirement of this Honorable House. The Honorable Minister of Finance, of Foreign Affairs, came to the floor in his explanation, and I beg to respond, mentioned that he was in Chankwan's with the ministers, together with the ambassadors. Right Honorable Speaker, there is no requirement within our laws that ambassadors have to first go to Chankwan's. And it cannot be an explanation by a foreign minister that they could not lay a policy statement within the timeline with the timelines just because they are in Chankwan's. And I wish to add that the Minister of Foreign Affairs has three ministers. They had all the time to prepare and present a policy statement in time. It is regrettable, and Honorable Speaker, I beg that, Honorable Speaker, I beg that Parliament, under looking at Rule 52, Sub-Rule 3 of the Rules of Procedure, a statement in explanation of any matter by a minister must be made in writing. They made the oral explanation, and the rule is very instructive, Right Honorable Speaker. The statement explaining circumstances under which they failed to comply with the requirement of the law must be in writing. The rule is instructive. Rule 52, sub-rule 3 of the Rules of Procedures of this House. Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that the ministers are instructed to produce and to deliver written statements in explanation of the circumstances under which they are unable, but as well as the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, and on behalf of the opposition, we reject the explanation that the Foreign Ministry was camped in Chankwanzi with ambassadors. That's unacceptable and not within our laws. Notwithstanding, Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Nkunyingi Mwada, the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, and as requested by Honorable Shivaria, I represent Chadondo East, formerly represented by President Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert. Under Rule 147 of our Rules of Procedure, being the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the sector of foreign affairs. I beg to lay.
Colleagues, Colleagues, sometimes we shall be leaving you to speak so that you go when you're satisfied. Yeah, because like Honorable Muada had his issues, he felt they should go on record, they've gone on record. And but what I want to tell you is we shall be having a meeting with the leader of government business to see how best this can be done better. So that next time we don't have such a situation. Ministers have written explaining to the speaker why all this has happened, but I felt it would be fair, instead of it remaining between us, the presiding officer, or it to go also on record for members to hear why it happened. Otherwise, if we don't do it that way, then it might be business as usual. But we are going to work together. We are not competing. No, we are going to work as a team to ensure both the legislature and the executive do work together for the benefit of Uganda. I think that should be our focus. And also both sides of the house. And Amate Lope has really helped in this. Next.
Lands, housing, and urban development.
Also, the statement stands referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Lands. You people, we don't want cross-coordination on the floor. I'm seeing.
Right, Honorable Speaker. In accordance to Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for lands, housing, and urban development. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Fiscal Infrastructure. Next.
Energy and minerals development.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Hoima City and Forum for Democratic Party, I congratulate you upon your elevation as Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Under Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure, I beg to lay on the table the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Nyakato. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Natural Resources.
Tourism and wildlife.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. For clarity to my brother, Honorable Maurice Chivalya, I am Masava Karim, the Member of Parliament representing Industrial Division in Mbale City, and the Shadow Minister of Wildlife, Tourism and Antiques. I would like to take this opportunity to add my voice to the honorable colleagues in congratulating you, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, on your ascension to the second highest position in this institution of Parliament. And I do pray that the Almighty God leads you and guides you as you serve the country. I move under Rule 147 of our Rules of Procedure, and I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement of tourism, wildlife, and antiques for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry. Next.
Trade, industry, and cooperatives.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Buhweju, I want to congratulate you upon your election as the Deputy Speaker of the 11th Parliament. I congratulate you. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to lay on table an alternative policy statement, trade industries and cooperatives, 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Trade, Industry, Tourism and Industry,
Water and Environment,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm Shamim Malende, the Shadow Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, also woman member of Parliament, Kampala District. Right Honorable Speaker, I bring you greetings from the people of Kampala, and they are looking forward to your leadership and have told me to convey this message that they hope that this Parliament is going to look at the issues affecting the people of Kampala and indeed from other regions for the better of this country, Your Worship. Oh, yeah. Right Honorable Speaker, sorry. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise under Rule 147 on behalf of the Shadow Minister of Water and Environment, that's Honorable Christine Kayana Chimwero, to lay the alternative policy statement for Ministry of Water and Environment for the financial year 2022-2023. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement.
Thank you, Honorable Malende. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Natural Resources.
Local Government,
Thank you so much. Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Betty Ethonalima, the woman MP for the very district that everyone needs in order to come here, Wakiso District. I'm also the Shadow Minister for Local Government. Allow me to join the rest of the members of Parliament and all Ugandans to congratulate you on the assumption of the office of the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. And similarly, I congratulate Right Honorable Anita Mo on the assumption of the office of the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, just before I lay on table the alternative policy statement for Ministry of Local Government for the financial year 2022-2023, Right Honorable Speaker, I request your office to indulge in the matter that was earlier resolved by parliamentarians seated here, as we asked your office, to ensure that local governments are catered for and that they also stop that the consolidated fund, the Minister of Finance rather, stops and ends the system that it has put forward to ensure that the little that is collected, that revenue that is collected by local governments has to first go through the consolidated fund and then later on they access any service. I ask your office to indulge as we discussed it here. We gave it time. May the Right Honorable Anya rest in peace because he presided over that matter and we were all in accordance. I thank you members for standing for local government. Let's give issues of local governments that due diligence we need. It was even very clear amongst every one of us here. We've just seen these matters again come up. Right Honorable Speaker, those issues are contained in here and we ask, let's give due diligence to these matters in here. So in accordance,
Colleagues, Colleagues, just let's be courteous to each other. We lose nothing, isn't it? Because anytime any of you will be on the floor. So it's good when we listen to each other, and we shall have a good flow. Because sometimes when we move outside there, people say, but what were you doing? This one was shouting from here, this one from here. So let's listen to each other so that whoever is listening to us outside there can follow the debate promptly. So let's listen to it.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in accordance to Rule 147 of the Rules of Parliament, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Ministry of Local Government for the financial year 2022-23. I beg to lay.
Honorable Minister of Finance, I hope you've taken note of the members' concern. And Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable Prime Minister, you've taken note in relation to the motion which was passed by this House. The Minister of Finance urging government to let the local governments have their money, not for it to be deducted at source. It first go to the consolidated fund and then is appropriated, then sent back to the local government. So go study, I request that you study the motion that was passed here. And then when we are processing the budget, you need to update the committee on what you've resolved. You need to respond to this because I didn't want to raise a debate over it.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not trying to raise the debate. Now, this is a question of law. I will have to go to the committees like you've guided and eventually come back to this House. There is a mechanism we are putting in place to see that the challenges which have been happening in the past do not happen in the next financial year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister of Finance. So the statement stands referred to the Committee on Public Service and Local Government.
Information.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and congratulations on your new mandate. I am the Woman Member of Parliament for Michiana District and the Shadow Minister for Information and Anti-Corruption. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on ICT.
East African Community Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to join my colleagues in congratulating you on the behalf of the people of Amoro. Of the Ministry of East Africa Community Affairs, I beg.
The statement stands referred to the Committee on East African Affairs. And Attorney General, if you're here, Honorable Gilbert has an issue would want to raise on the floor. But considering how I had prepared for today's session, I request you meet with the Prime Minister and discuss that issue. If you're not satisfied, then we shall get for it space next time on the floor. They are done? Yes. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I've taken note. Most of the ministries just submitted one copy. They submitted one copy. They have not submitted sufficient copies for members to go study so that they can be able to contribute in the debate. And that's a practice. They should always present enough copies. So I request that all ministers who presented the ministerial policy statement, please do sufficient copies. I think, Clerk, you should write to the ministers to guide on this, how many copies are needed. We ensure the copies are received in time for members to be able to read and process the statements effectively. Colleagues, I have an issue that came up. I wanted to beg your indulgence that we amend the order paper to accommodate only one issue. I don't know whether the Minister of Finance has finished with the Shadow Minister of Finance. I had given them a minute out, but we have an emergency situation whereby Parliament, we need to revise our statutory provision, budgetary provision, to accommodate an emergency that came in. And I had requested the Minister of Finance to lay on table, because we have an emergency which can't wait even for Thursday. So I feel all the rest, let the Minister of Finance come and lay, because it is for noting by Parliament. The rest which are administratively handled. On government side, you'll find, and on our side, you'll find we are in a much deeper crisis. So with clear figures indicated, Honorable Minister of Finance.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay a statement on table on the statutory revision of the budget for vote 104 Parliamentary Commission for financial year 2021-2022 by Uganda shillings 1,812,726,300 to facilitate various expenses of the late Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Jacobo Lokoli Oranya. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. This is for noting, and we've received it. House adjourned to Thursday at 2 p.m.